Hey, check up. Let's play some D. Welcome to episode 42 of Play Some D, the weekly installment of greatness. No. It's just regular old guy talking about stuff. Yeah, Coach D, and this is my weekly installment, or mostly weekly installments of a variety of topics ranging from sports, music, politics, news, movies, TV shows, random things, top things, best things, worst things, random things. But the talk of the show is variety is the spice of life. So that's what spawned Play Some D, and 42 episodes later, here we are. And this week, I got, as always, the goodies. But this week, I'm going to talk about All Star Weekend. It was in my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. I'm going to talk about Web 3.0, Web 3, a couple different ways to say it, talk about it, blase. I'm going to talk about that. I'm about the Power Universe on Starz. 50 Cent has really put something together here that I couldn't imagine he would ever be able to pull off, but he has pulled it off. And I'm gonna talk about the universe. I mean, it's the biggest, one of the biggest brands, or I don't even know how to put it, but anyway, we'll get there. That'll be third quarter. And with fourth quarter, just an interesting topic that I've been thinking about and put some. Man, I had an idea, but just kind of looking at a couple different things, and I don't know. I'm gonna do the top female rappers of all time. It's very very difficult, but somebody's gotta do it. As always, if you don't mind, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, turn on those notifications if you don't mind. Drop some comments. Let me know your favorite rappers, what you think about the All-Star game, All-Star weekend, all that good stuff. But I'm ready to tip this baby off, throw it up in the air, and All-Star weekend. All-Star weekend in Cleveland, Ohio was I wasn't there. I should have went, but I was just the cold. I didn't want any parts of the cold for All Star Weekend, and the I was gonna say riff raff, but I don't. That's not the right word. Just the back and forth and the busyness. I didn't really want to be bothered, but the All Star game was incredible, fantastic. The other 2 days, as far as NBA airing stuff, sucks. This is god awful. It sucks. Friday night is the celebrity game, and then the Rising Stars jam. That was okay. The Rising Stars thing was okay, but it's still just lackluster. It just misses something. It's cool to see the new guys play for the people that haven't seen them, and that's the idea, is that they get to go out there. For the people that don't, the casual fans get to see them. I understand that, but the idea of it, I think it's just a better way to do that. Maybe you put the best guys out there, and you do a 3-on-3 tournament, maybe, because the big three is pretty big. 3-on-3 is huge. You can get out there and make them play 1-on-1. You can make them play horse. There's a couple of different ways to see the new guys. A 5-on-5 is still going to exhibit the best players, the Cade Cunninghams, the guys that are better than other guys, LaMelo Ball. They're going to outshine the guys that aren't as good as them, just like in the All-Star game. So even though you watch a game full of All-Stars, somebody's going to shine brighter than the rest, and it's usually the guys that we are. I feel like that's the case. The celebrity game should be banned, as I talked about was that last week? It had to be last week. The Super Bowl and the celebrity stuff. It just gotta go. The celebrity stuff has got to get out. It needs to go. I don't care about celebrities playing basketball. If I was a celebrity, I really wouldn't want to play. Maybe run out there and get a couple shots in, but I'm not to waste my time. An all-star, the all-star where the best players in the world play basketball, you're going to put some of the worst basketball on television? Silly. Carry over to Saturday night. Saturday night had the ridiculously long revamped skills competition that it should just be quick and done. You do a couple things, run through the thing, throw some passes, we get out of there. I swear it took forever for the skills competition. Was it cool? Yeah. The half court shot in a certain amount of time, put some spice on it. Yes, no, maybe, not really. It's a luck shot. I mean, it's not a luck shot, but it's a, I don't know, make it skilled. I mean, there's nothing really skilled about a half court shot. I mean, you throwing it up there, you aiming it, and those guys practice that stuff, but keep it to skills, dribble, pass, actual jump shots, floater. Something specialty as far as like skill goes, I think would be better, and make it quicker. The 3-point contest, I didn't like the 3-point contest once they added the money rack, and now there's a Mountain Dew ball. I feel like the integrity of the 3-point contest kind of goes away from the future. So now it's like guys break records, and I've mentioned this countless times. Talked about it with friends, with other, just talked about it with people basketball wise. Is that I know it really doesn't matter who broke what records and things of that nature, but there were guys years ago who didn't have whole money racks and Mountain Dew balls and long shots and other weird stuff that amplifies the score now. It should be 5 racks with a money ball, and you just shoot it. The top 4 should go to the second round, and then maybe a top 2, or maybe just out that 4, the best rack wins. But I think it really should be 3 rounds. 5 racks, best of 4, then the top 2. I think that would be I think it would just be better. I mean, the 3-point contest is always something that people aren't interested in seeing because 3-pointers are the thing now. The dunk contest should be removed, and it should have been removed. And yes, 6 years ago, there was Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine, but since then, there was nothing. And 6 years before that, or 4, or however many years before that, there was another one. And then there was Vince Carter many moons before that. There's always some decent ones and some decent dunks that find their way in. But it being the nightcap of Saturday Night All-Star Weekend, there's not many dunks left that can be done. And if they are done, they will not get the appropriate score because it's all 10s. And everything that's a 10 now isn't really a 10 dunk because it's been seen. So really 10 dunks should technically be dunks we really haven't seen, or just the level of difficulties are higher, or maybe there should be an 11 or a 10.5 that like adds a little oomph to it. Because just like the Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine, I said years ago, Aaron Gordon had the better dunks, but you can't go over a 50, and Zach LaVine's were a 50 as well, but Aaron Gordon's were just a little bit better, which should in turn have won him the dunk contest. So, in that one particularly, yes, there have been some standout dunks. Did Obi Toppin make some decent dunks? Sure. But everybody else was so bad that it didn't really matter. I mean, they were awful. I mean, the dunk contest was awful. So, clear my throat. With that being said, this is probably where a one-on-one tournament would be cool, a one-on-one full court tournament with the best players or whatever. I mean, that's the hard part about changing this format up, is that what players would then want to do this. It had to be some incentive. It had to be some kind of charity, some kind of cool trophy like the Kobe Bryant All-Star Game trophy, some kind of bragging rights that would then get the LeBrons, the Kevin Durant's, the Jazz, just all the really good players that would want to compete against each other in some kind of one-on-one format, possibly, or even a horse. A horse would be a little bit cooler, but then you gotta, dunks and things of that nature. You kind of gotta throw out dunks a little bit. But I think horse would be something experimental that could possibly work. But they have to do something dunk contest because this year was the icing on the cake of just patheticness. And in the next 3 to 4 years, will there be another good one? Maybe. Will there possibly be another fantastic one? Slim chance to none. Moving on to Sunday, the All-Star Game. They finally figured it out where every quarter matters and then the game matters. Steph Curry put on a masterful show. Team LeBron had the better players, but Joel Embiid and Trae Young and Devin Booker and Zach LaVine, they got out there and they fought. DeJounte Murray played well. Lonzo Ball played well. Embiid would have got the MVP had Team Durant won. LeBron played really good. Giannis always plays well in these things. Steph had the big game. DeRozan hit some big shots. And then LeBron ended it with the shot that he should have shot over Kobe years and years ago when they were in the All-Star game and Kobe told him to shoot it. And it was just cool that he shot it. And it was also cool that it went in. It also would have been cooler to see Steph Curry break that 52-point record that I believe Anthony Davis holds. That I've seen every All-Star game or most of every All-Star game, and I don't remember AD scoring 52. But I definitely have to check back into it. I just want to see what year that was, and then it would probably spark me once I see what year it was. But they tally up the score at the end of the third quarter. 24 points of the highest team, 24 points. Whoa. And then we go 24 points to whatever team has the highest score. That is a target score. So this year was 163. The closing line for the over-under was 3, 24.5, and the game was 323. Crazy. Anybody that bet that over. But it was just a good game. It was entertaining to watch. The end of every single quarter was entertaining to watch, and the whole fourth quarter was good. And I figured it out, and I saw Tyler Lockett tweet about. I'm pretty sure it's a real tweet. You don't even know what's real nowadays. But I'm pretty sure he said it would be cool if the NFL did something like that, and it really would be. The NFL needs to figure out that Pro Bowl because it is poop. But yeah, I just want to talk about the All-Star. I want to talk about All-Star Weekend. I had to talk about it as it being in Cleveland. 25 years later, the top 75. I thought was super cool. It was long, the halftime, but I thought it was very, very necessary. The top 75 players in a league like the NBA or NFL or MLB, all those places where players played at such a high level. I don't know what night you do it or how you do it, but I guess the All-Star Game is probably the best place to do it at, and you highlight those players. It was cool to see Michael Jordan there. It was cool to see him. It was just cool to see all those players just interact with each other and then talk about it, and Shaq and Chuck and everybody just kind of talking about and all the young guys, seeing all those guys and thanking them, and it just as a basketball player, as a basketball fan, I thought it was super cool. And Sunday cleaned up the rest of the junk from the previous days as far as the TV stuff. Behind the scenes, again, I wasn't there, so can't talk about it, but if I was, I would. All right, so for second quarter gets a little dicey. Probably more than a little dicey, but very, very, very dicey. Second quarter, talking about Web 3. Web 3.0. It'll probably end up turning out to be some kind of themed name for all we know. But it's basically the third iteration of the internet. There was a web 1 in the 1990s. Then Web 2 came. It's basically like the read and write version. Tumblr, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. And now, this is where 3 comes in. And it's supposed to be read, write, and own. The own part kind of comes with shares, and the shares are as of right now tokens and cryptocurrency, and they represent some kind of ownership of networks on a blockchain. They're on a blockchain, known as a blockchain, interchangeable. The wording and all that stuff will hopefully become a little bit more. I don't know what the right word is. Hopefully, the wording will come a little bit more recognizable, understandable is what I'm looking for. The wording and how it all will become a little more understandable. And the idea is that it is a one centralized area where everybody kind of takes away from the big ownerships of like your Facebooks and Twitter and everybody grabs a hold of things. The only thing that in the early stage of people talking about it is that and getting involved in it, yes, people, you obviously can't make money in any way, shape, or form that things happen like this. People are interested and money's being poured in. If somebody, can make money off of it, developers and all that good stuff. I think I just read like there's a big funding in Africa one, and I forgot which country in Africa, but they got a whole big infrastructure app that does like ride sharing, gig work, teaching, it's all kind of different stuff. It got a huge round of funding, and it'll help. I think it'll help more of the countries like that or the nations that things are a little bit slow and stagnant. In the United States, I don't know how this really works. At the end of the day, so Meta and so for example, like Meta, Facebook, and Ubisoft, which is a video game company, they're creating virtual worlds powered, with NFTs, non-fungible tokens, will also play a huge role. Oh, sorry. The gamers can invest in the game itself and vote on how things can be run. So they're like going to allow people to use those tokens to fix the game. I'm guessing it gets a little bit confusing because when I read it, I'm thinking about it, and somebody has to be in charge of things. Has to be like, so if, for instance, let's just take Ubisoft for example. They have a game, say it's a Tom Clancy game or Splinter Cell or whatever, and a group of fans or whatever decide that they have a share of the game, that they want to fix this bug or this thing. But then another group, maybe it's not a bug. I mean, I guess everybody would be okay with fixing bugs. Maybe it's a weapon that wants to be tuned, or in that case, to get everybody to agree on it is almost impossible. You'll never, unless something is messing up the flow of the game that everybody likes and it's an agreement, then yes. But in most cases, you can't get everybody to agree on everything. So some portion of it has to take ownership. So how I think about it is the case where if 60% of the people decide, yes, we want this change, and they have that token or share of the company or share of the weapon or share of the whatever to fix it, then does it get fixed or changed or altered or removed? That's the part that's confusing, because it's like, where does Ubisoft come into play? Or they just say, oh, yep, that gun's gone now, since the majority of people decide they don't want to go on. And if that's the case, is it kind of cool? Kind of. But then you start to get to a place where, yes, okay, maybe not everybody, maybe there isn't one person in charge that's making the decisions. Maybe there's a group of people, but then you start to alienate other groups of people that may like the game, and they feel like they, and then it still turns into a body of people's game. It may not be one person or a group of developers' choices to fix and when they fix and how they fix, but then a group of people. I don't know. See, you think about it and hear it, it's strange, but it could work. It might work, but that aspect of it does. It's better. I mean, that's honestly better than it is now. You just take a big title and say a weapon's broken or a map's broken or something needs to be fixed right away. A group of people can get together, put their funds together, and have that fixed in 24 hours if the right people. They can find the right person to fix it or right people to fix it. That's kind of cool, to get stuff done, taken care of. Because I'm big with that. I guess as I mentioned many times before, I'm a gamer. Hate to see things broken, especially when these companies are constantly in the players' pockets to buy a skin or a avatar or whatever to play with. They're constantly taking money, but the fixes just I don't think come as quickly and as fairly as they should, given the fact that people spend a lot of money on these games. At the heart of the critiques is the idea of decentralized theater, where blockchain projects are decentralized in the name but not in substance. Private blockchains, VC-backed investments, or decentralized financial programs where just a few people hold the keys to hundreds of millions of dollars are, an example of decentralized theater. That's what I was just talking about. Is that if you end up getting a group of people that's just got the money to fix the things that needs to be fixed, it's still CEOs, big banks, or whatever, still pulling the strings, but it just looks like they're just favoring with whoever else is, botched up with them making that call. It's still, whoever has the most money or the most tokens or crypto, whatever money. It's in end of the day, whatever you want to call it, the most capital for whatever that project is. They call a shot. So I think it's if everybody is serious about it, I think there is a way to make this work and possibly build on it. But I think it'll take years unless some kind of collapse happens that amplifies this, that makes this needed, like COVID did with a lot of different things. It made people start doing stuff a little bit quicker than it was coming, but COVID made things happen a little bit quicker. Something could happen that makes Web 3.0 necessary in maybe countries or even the United States. But the U.S., I just think I think everything that happens here will fall last, and the people with big pockets definitely want to get theirs padded first, and they want to be ahead of the curve and make sure they're in on the know and get theirs before anybody else. I just think that's the case. But the idea behind it of giving back the people, especially the internet, essentially what they created, using it. Somebody built the platform or the website, but the people go in there and keep it going, keep the ads running, people do that. So I think I always feel like people should get some kind of kickback instead of just say. I think people shouldn't always just be getting, shouldn't just be take from folks. They should get something. That's just how I always felt about it. All right, so halftime of the All-Star game was cool. Halftime I played some DEE. It's just yeah. It's just that. Yeah. It's just that. All right, so let's just flip over here. And we're just going to talk real quickly about the power universe here. I think what 50 has done. Oops. There we go. That'll fit in there. with Power is pretty impressive. I just wanted to. I think it was fair that I wanted to talk about it, and I think it was fair to talk about it now that I have watched 3 episodes of Force, which is Tommy's spinoff. Tommy was one of the main characters in the original Power, and I watched 3 episodes of Ghost. That is with Tyreek. That is the main character in Part One's son, and then this Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, is 50 Cent's characters um, prelude or origin story, as they call it nowadays. And then Tommy, and then there's supposed to be a Power Book 5 with Influence with Rashad Tate, and that looks like that will probably happen, but I'm thinking it's going to happen after or near the end of them toning down Ghost, if they ever do. Ghost is on season 2, I believe. Well, just finished season 2 and headed into season 3. I stopped watching Ghost at episode 4. I just didn't think it was very good. It looks like season 2 picked up a little bit for people. I stopped watching Raising Kanan after episode 3, I believe, maybe 4. And then I'm 3 episodes in on Force, and I just felt like it's a good time to talk about them all. Power was excellent to start. Power was an excellent show to start, and then it turned into a soap opera late. Ghost was just all over the place from the beginning, which you figured it would be because it picked up. This was the first one that picked up right after this one, and they just kind of carried over the same plot or the same shenanigans, I guess you could say. Raising Kanan is just back in the day. It's more gritty. It tells a more old school story, I guess you could say. It's decent, but the plot and where things were going and how things were set up, it was cluttered and weird, and I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. Power Book Force with Tommy. So, little bit of bias here. I always like the Tommy character. I always say he's probably killed. I mean, he's got to be up there with like Dexter, with like TV show people. That's. I mean, he's killed so many people. I think there is a count on how many people he's killed compared to like Jason, Michael Myers, and Dexter. Like, I mean, I think he's up there. I think I looked it up. I didn't get that number, but his character is just so, I don't know, just wild, that it's just entertaining. I'll probably give Force maybe 2 more episodes. It's really on a teeter tot with me. They have put in place what the story will be like, but it still looks like it's gonna be theater like the rest of them. It just, I don't know. It may be a fun watch, but it'll be a mixture of what that really just happened or oh yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. So I may see a season out just because I like the character. I do like the other characters in the show, as well as this other thing too that I do like. I have always liked about the casting of these shows is I think they just do a phenomenal job with picking the people. Most of them are decent actors. Some are better than others, but just the cast, the swagger, the way they play their roles, it all seems to match. It's just the plot and how things play out. It does get people thinking like, wait, really, what's happening? So I just feel like I just want to talk about it all in the grand scheme of things, with Power Book 5 possibly being the best if it happens, because it's supposed to be about how DC treats black politicians, which turns this whole criminal thing. It obviously will be it'll be criminality going on. There'll be corruption going on, all that stuff, obviously in the DC world. but it'll take out the drugs. It'll take out, probably a little bit less of the killing and the force. I guess that's a good word. It's another reason why I like that one. It's just it's titled properly, Force. So Influence will show just a different way, and I've always liked that stuff. I liked Billions. Before Axe left, Axe was gone. I stopped watching. I like that the jargon, the talking, the just going and killing people with no repercussions and walking away from it and selling drugs, and it to me it does get a little old when it doesn't have any nuance or like, I don't know. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I definitely will be interested to see. Lorenz Tate's a good actor, and I think he'll, once again they'll cast the right. I think they'll cast the right people as always, and then I think it could turn out to be a really good show. And then you got a world of 5 TV shows with obviously Power being done. You got 5 TV shows that, in the grand scheme of things, were solid at the very least. People are watching them. People are enjoying them. It's also cool for like the culture, I guess you can say, in a sense. Force being taking place in Chicago. Ghost is still in New York. Raising Kane is still in New York. I'm glad Force switched from LA to Chicago. I think I said Force. Yeah, Force switched to LA, and then Influence will be in DC. Just super cool with the settings and all that stuff. So that's another reason why I mess with it too. So I just want to take a quick second. Probably wasn't a quick second. I'm not totally sure, but just to talk about the Power universe here and play some D quarter 3 because I won't review Force. I might have reviewed Power, maybe, doubt it, but I won't ever review them. So I just want to touch on them, unless this is like a phenomenal season of Force. I don't think I'll ever go back and watch any of the other ones, or a phenomenal season of Influence. Maybe I'll touch on that. But fourth quarter is a doozy. Definitely a doozy. Fourth quarter is the greatest female MCs greatest female MCs of all time. Rappers, MCs. And my first caveat is that I just always feel like sales matter in whatever, they just matter. Numbers matter. So, there's probably somebody somewhere that can out rap Lauryn Hill, Nicki Minaj, Missy Elliott, Queen Latifah, all wrapped up in a bowl. But, you got to do it on a big stage, and it's got to matter. It's got to mean something. So that's the first thing for me. That's how I always rate things. You got to show this. The stats have to show, and in rap and in music, people got to hear you. You can't be sitting in the back like, oh, I'm the best of all time, but I've only sold 1 million records. Like, that's just not enough. It's just not enough. Lauryn Hill's joint, Miseducation Lauryn Hill sold 19 million copies by itself. Just, and 1 million is a lot. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Maybe a little less than that. But anyway, when you say you can't say you're the best and you're that far behind. That's just how I feel. So Nicki is the highest selling. Nicki Minaj is the highest selling female rapper of all time. She's one of the highest selling artists of all time, and that's also partially to do with the time. I think she would have been big in whatever time because she's just that personality, and she's good. And then Lil Kim and Missy Elliott fall right behind her. So I just wanted to get that out the way first. I have 2 lists pinned with I have 2 lists pinned. All right, so I have 2 lists pinned here in my browsers. We'll go through this top 10 one. I don't know who this is, some lifestyle magazine or whatever. But they got MC Light at 10, Rod Digger at 9, The Brat at 8, Eve at 7, Foxy at 6, Kim at 5, Nikki at 4, Missy at 3, Queen at 2, Lauryn Hill at 1. I think it's a very good list. I really, really do. It's really hard. This list is 15. This one has Nicki at 1. This one starts at 1. It has Cardi at 2. Other list didn't have Cardi. Maybe she was 11 or something. Who knows? This has Cardi at 2. I would never put Cardi at 2. Lil' Kim at 3. Remy Ma at 4. That's very, very high. Lauryn Hill at 5. That's very, very low. Rhapsody, 6. Arguably. Very, 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 very good rapper. Eve, 7. Eve was not on the list. MC Light at 8. Trina at 9. Trina is the one of the biggest wild cards for me, personally. Foxy, The Brat. I don't even think that's The Brat. It's definitely not The Brat. Queen Latifah, The Lady of Rage, which was MIA. And I thought it was a 15, right? This is 14. Oh, we're missing. Looks like there's one missing. They say 4. This clearly says 15. So now, what I'll do here. Oh, and this side here is my top 10. Very, 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 very difficult. I really like. At this very moment, I'm just going to put Nicki at 1. I think Nicki is arguably 1. Lauryn Hill is 2. They are 1 or 2. This might change. They are for sure 1 and 2 in my opinion. That's for sure. And partially, this list kind of tells it. She's 1 here, and she's 1 here. Nicki's 1 on the other one. 3, I really believe goes Lil' Kim. Regardless of the matter, Lil' Kim goes 3. This is set in stone. I can lock that one in. We can put that one in. From here on out, it just gets very, very, very. Oh, Eve was on this one. I'm so sorry. I actually missed that. I think Eve. So I would go Queen. It's either Queen. Let's go MC Light here. Let's go MC Light there. Missy, I never thought Missy's bars were that great. So she probably's gonna go down. I'm putting 6 right now. But I think I definitely Eve definitely goes over Missy. Definitely. For me. Me personally. Let's put Missy at 7. Very, very hard. Very, 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 very hard. Trina goes in here for me. Trina definitely goes in here for me. I think Trina at 9 is right. Maybe it's Foxy. Maybe it's Trina. Maybe this is right. Maybe this is. It's probably the Brat. I think the Brat is 10. Who am I missing? I think the Bratz 10. I think this is it. I think this is my list. But once again, I think the Lil Kim's definitely 3. I think this is my list, and I think Lauren I think Lauren goes I think Lauren goes first. I think my final list puts Lauren first. I think and I got her name spelled wrong. Lauren. You definitely got to say it like that, Lauren. All right. That's it. I think that's right. I like that. Lauren, Nikki, Kim, Queen, MC Light, Eve, Missy, Foxy, Trina, and the Brat. I think that's it. That's my list. I like that list. I might be missing somebody. There's a very, very strong possibility that I might left some people out. But I think those two lists, I looked through other lists and just kind of thinking about some rappers and things of that nature. Cardi just doesn't go on there. She doesn't. I mean, that's the only person, Cardi and Megan, they just don't have enough. Megan only talks about sex for the most part. Her features are super duper lackluster. Doesn't have any really big songs. Uh, Honestly, Cardi is probably 11 or 12 or something like that. But I would put she'd probably be somewhere right under, maybe right below Rhapsody for sure. Uh, Lady Rage was dope too. Rod Digger was dope too. I think Cardi would go over them, and I think they all probably feel like that. And that's probably just number rise. And Cardi has some big hits and some really good features. And then there's more for sure. And I think this list could possibly change as more female artists get recognized and looked at. But this is something I've been weeks and weeks and weeks. I wanted to do this back in episode like 30 something. And I just been torn with how I wanted to do it. I knew that these 8 for sure were in there. Trina just popped up, and the Brat is pretty good. She can fall out for sure. That's it's a tough one. But these 8 are for sure solidified. So let's play some D42. It was supposed to be smooth sailing, but I knew I would hit some rocks and some bumps in there because that female rapper list, I just wanted to think it out and feel like it's about as close to right as it'll get for me personally. That's my list. All Star Weekend was saved by All Star Game, which what matters. I mean, that's really what it was about. The All Star Game. The rest of the stuff is just, extras. Web3, it just we'll hear a lot of talk about it, and what comes of it, who knows? And just wanted to shout out 50 in the Power Universe. I've watched a little. I watched all the Power. the original, and I've watched enough of the others to give my insight on it. They're okay. They're for some people, not for others. Power at the beginning was a classic. First two seasons of Power was amazing, and I do think, like I said, Influence has a chance to be something with the DC and that whole thing, and this Tommy Force could be good. And other ones, like I said, season two of Ghost picked up for some people. So just hearing the reviews and things of that nature. So it looks like it's a long road ahead 50, and he can turn it. He can crank that baby up to some high cylinders. But thanks for watching as always. This was 42. It was a pleasure. I enjoyed this one. Got my brain flowing. Got things moving. Thoughts out. And once again, you can subscribe if you like. Hit the like button if you like. Comment. Let me know about your favorite rappers, female rappers. What do you think about Power, the universe? What do you think about Rev 3? And, should the dunk contest be eradicated? I say yes. Yes. But into the next one, as we always do, I holla.